This is Getting Past It, where real life meets real growth. I'm JR, and in 10 minutes or less, we're tackling thoughts, habits, and truths that hold us back. Let's get past it together.
Good morning. What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy JR, host of Getting Past It, the podcast. We are back. Welcome back. It's been a few weeks since I put up a podcast episode. Took a few weeks off just to clear my mind and get my thoughts together. And also just to shift my focus and my perspective back to being in the right place. Because being online doing this social media thing, it's easy to get caught up in chasing what you see online and trying to keep up with the Joneses. But I was listening to another podcast and it was a huge eye-opener in perspective and how we view these things. So everybody, I'm assuming, that's on YouTube with the podcast or channel, the goal is ultimately to have as many subscribers and followers as you possibly can. Some it's for their own personal gain, some it's for personal and so they can do things in the community. And it's also just another avenue as a way to change your life, a way to take your future into your own hands and to share your life with others who may be going through similar things, or to discuss those topics that people want to hear about. And so when I was watching this other show, the person made a great point. And what he basically said was, we all want 10, 15, 20,000 subscribers, and that's great. Yes, I want them. So tell a friend to tell a friend, tell a friend, and share. But enjoy the process and also shift how you think about it. So I went and I looked, right? And I said, okay, currently as it sits today, I have 203 subscribers. For some people, that might not seem like a lot. But then I had to put myself in a different mindset. What if I was in a room with all 203 of you, where I had to stand up and give a presentation? While that 203 people might seem small from the internet standpoint, imagine being in a room with that many people. You're up in front of them, presenting, sharing information. That's a mindset shift. That's a different perspective, because 200 bodies in one space is not a small number. Now, granted, for a lot of people, your celebrities and all of those, they're used to thousands and thousands and thousands. But us regular folk, people trying to make it, figuring things out in real time, that's a big number. I mean, just think about when you have to talk in one of your work meetings in an office setting and it's just 10 of y'all. What that feels like. Or when you're doing a presentation and your job decides to have a town hall and there's, 100 people, 200 people that you have to get up in front of. That's no small feat, and that's nothing to sneeze at. That's 200 plus people who have taken time out of their day to invest in you. And you may say, well, they haven't given me any money, but they're investing time. They're investing their personal bandwidth in consuming your content or whatever you are putting out. And so for those 203 of you out there who have chosen to subscribe, thank you. I'm immensely grateful for that. Because, just to think that there's 203 people who either enjoy me talking, just checking it out for the sake of checking it out, whatever the case may be, that's powerful, man. And I'm truly appreciative of your time. Earlier today, I posted something about choosing your heart, right? And that is something I saw years ago that's always stuck with me. And I was recently talking to a friend, talking about how I tend to procrastinate. all the time, wanting things to be perfect, wanting things to be a certain way, trying to figure stuff out to the point that I'm overthinking and I don't start, or I push things off and then it ends up sitting on the shelf and collecting dust. And one of the responses I got back was, you need to stop overthinking. You need to just go do and figure it out along the way. And I want to talk about that for a minute, because a lot of times we let opportunities slip through our fingers because we get so stuck in our minds about what it should look like, how it should go. And this is not to say that you shouldn't plan. Yes, you should plan and have a framework and some things in place before you just jump out there. But there's this saying, don't get paralysis by analysis, right? You're looking at all the things and now you're just stuck. You're not moving forward. You're not making any progress. You're just on this hamster wheel of analyzing and researching and reviewing, but you're not taking any real steps to get towards your objective. And I know that's easier said than done, because a lot of times when I sit down and I'm thinking about this podcasting thing, this social media space, or any of those things, it can be difficult because you start looking at those who have been successful and you start trying to figure out how they got to where they were, what things they did, what did they change. I often reference Joe Budden, his podcast a lot on here, because that podcast drops so many jewels. They give out so much information. Some people might get caught on the verbiage, right? Depending on your mindset, if you don't like cursing or some of the topics. But if you listen, I'm going to say 95% of the episodes, somewhere in that episode, they are giving you some gems, some perspective, some different ways to look at things. But then they're also, leaving little tea leaves about what they see coming around the corner. And they have multiple perspectives, because with there being so many co-hosts on that show, you have a myriad of different types of talent. You get Ish talking about the real estate, Ice talking about all the techie things. You got Joe talking about the music business, things behind the scenes, a host of topics. You got Mark, talking about the political arena and things going on around the world. You have Mona adding her spice and comedy to it and giving, a woman's perspective on things. Parks is always, he's like that solid foundation that's very even. Always adds insight and has his little zingers that you got to be paying attention to catch. Flip, I've watched, oh man, like I didn't even realize who Flip was for a while, and then I start seeing old videos that I used to watch of him in the car with his son smacking the cereal out of his hand. I was like, oh, that's the same dude. But watching his growth, right? Watching how he got around some people who could teach him some things, who could show him a different way. Not that he necessarily he was doing anything wrong. But when you get around other creators or other like-minded people with different insights, you can grow from that. And just watching how he engages on the show, he still has his rambunctious ways, but he also has those moments where he's extremely thoughtful. The way he articulates himself is like, oh, he on to something. And just watching his growth, man, it's awesome to see how all of them are shifting and shaping in real time. But also watching how Joe stands in front of all of the controversies that come his way. A lot of times you see people that have situations pop up and they go bury their head in the sand. And I think that's the one thing that's allowed him to consistently be successful, is that he doesn't run from the negative narratives, right? He runs right into them. He lets you joke. He lets y'all get your stuff off. He understands when he's made a misstep and when he's going to be the talk of the internet and when he's not. And just watching how he stood firm in this wanting to be independent space and how his brand has grown is something anybody who wants to take control of their future should pay attention to. It goes back to betting on yourself and your perspective. You can go out there and build somebody else's dream, but who's going to build yours if you're not? Right? What does that look like? We got a lot of work to do out here, and the flow of information has changed. They used to say, you want to hide something from people, put it in a book. But in 2025, there's so many people giving you the information. So there's a number of ways for you to get out there and get it. You can read, you can go find it on the internet. It's out there. It is out there. You just have to go get the information. If you're not afraid to do the work, it's life-changing information out here. But also understanding that most people's lives don't change overnight. So it's going to be a grind. It's going to be a hustle. There's going to be growing pains. There's going to be things about it that you like, things that you hate. And you're going to learn a bunch of stuff in real time. Like, I'm learning that sitting down in front of, a camera and talking to you guys, while it may seem easy when you look at other people doing it, to actually think about the message you want to convey, how you want to convey it, then go back, critique yourself, try to learn from your mistakes, understanding when you're using too many ums, too many ahs, when you're pausing too long. It's all educational. You just have to be willing to go through it. You got to be willing to get past it. Get past those obstacles and those things holding you back. So many of us stop at the starting point, that we never reach the finish line. And then the ones who do start the journey, we have our sights so focused on the end goal that we forget to enjoy the journey, learn from the journey, and understanding that it is a process. They always say nothing worth having comes overnight or is easy, but we want it to be. I know I do. I am no different than anybody else. If this could miraculously have 10,000 subscribers by tomorrow, I would be elated. But listening to Joe, right? You set your sights on one thing, and then when you get there, you move your target. And then you move your target. So there's always going to be the challenge. You just got to be willing to walk through it. I hope y'all have a great day out there. I'm about to get back to posting on a consistent basis. Thank y'all for hanging with me. I hope y'all have a great day. Christmas is just around the corner. Give somebody a hug. Show some love. Show some grace. Be kind. It's hard out here and people are struggling. Remember that. Don't be that thing that breaks the person. Try to be the thing that helps build them up. Again, I'm your boy JR, host of Getting Past It, the podcast. I will talk to y'all soon. Go be great. Peace.